This is News 14 Carolina Meteorologist Matthew East, and this is the Friday edition of the tropical weather video. And as I explained in the other video, I'm going to try to do two separate videos here as we go ahead in time. A tropical weather video and a Carolina weather video. So those of you just interested in the weather in the Carolinas can watch the Carolina weather video. Those of you just interested in the tropics can watch the tropical weather video. Of course, the big problem here in the tropics is Ike. Let me show you a few camera shots I snagged off the web this morning. And by the way, these camera shots I'm going to show you are all linked off of the blog front page, so you can see the updated images on all of these cameras right there from the blog. All right, this is a look at the seawall in Galveston Island, and that's looking out toward the Gulf of Mexico. The sea looking very angry, and the sea already rising. As I'm cutting this video early to mid-morning, several feet of sea rise have already occurred, and obviously the center of Ike still over 150 or 200 miles away from Galveston. That is Galveston Harbor, and certainly I think with the projected track of Ike's holes, there's going to be some significant problems in terms of storm surge that move right into Galveston Bay, Galveston Harbor there. And this is a peek at the Capitol building in Houston. And Houston, too, will get a pretty significant blow, it looks like, from Ike here. As it looks like they're going to take a significant blow from the system as it moves in tonight. Let's remember where Ike has been. That's the wind field with Ike, and this was a Cape Verde tropical wave that eventually developed into a tropical system and tracked across much of Cuba, then into the Gulf of Mexico, and now here we are with Ike in the northwestern Gulf. Satellite imagery this morning, and Ike, again, just is an incredibly broad hurricane. The wind field is tremendously large, and because of that, I think that's the primary reason we haven't seen this really ramp up in intensity. It's been so spread out. It's tough to really wrap this up into a really compact center. But with that said, there's a tremendous amount of energy associated with Ike, and that's why we have the large, widespread area of sea rises there in the Gulf of Mexico. There was a storm surge flooding yesterday in Tampa and Mobile and the Louisiana coastline, and the worst is yet to come with storm surge, certainly, for the North Texas coast and the Louisiana coastline. That's the water vapor imagery. Some dry air on the west side of Ike. Nothing tremendously dry, but I don't think we'll see any explosive intensification, but we could very well see Ike become a Category 3 hurricane prior to landfall. There's the visible satellite imagery. And yet to see that eye develop, and it may not actually develop before the storm makes landfall, but the center of circulation is right there. That is where, if an eye was going to develop, that's where it would be. Model guidance very tightly clustered. This is the 06Z run of the tropical models, and I've thrown out some of the ones that did not initialize the system correctly, but very tightly clustering the models there. And it looks like Galveston Bay and maybe just west of there. That's your most likely landfall spot, and I see no reason to deviate from that forecast. There's the official National Hurricane Center track, and they do take it just to the west side of Galveston Bay. And the Hurricane Center does bring it in as a Category 3 hurricane. Regardless, storm surge is going to be a big problem. I think there's going to be 15 to 20 feet of storm surge, and I'll show you some of the storm surge graphics here in just a second. That's the wave heights, just incredibly high waves out there in the northern Gulf of Mexico, waves over 30 and 40 feet. And the winds, we've been watching some of the wind observations from some of the oil platforms out there, and really some significant winds, obviously, as you might expect out there as well. All right, this is from the Weather Underground site. They have a really good tropical weather site, and this is the surge data. Of course, this is just a model plot, but this is what possibly the upper Texas coast and the Louisiana coast could expect in terms of storm surge, and you get into those shades of orange and yellow, that's over 20 feet of storm surge, and that might certainly be the upper end, but I do think 15 to 20 feet of storm surge very possible along and just to the east of where the center of Ike makes landfall. And this is the National Hurricane Center's storm surge probabilities. All of that purple highlighted area, that is over 90% chance of a 5-foot surge or more. And that will certainly occur. That's a given, anywhere from the upper Texas coast across much of the Louisiana coastline. And some spots will see significantly more than 5 feet of surge. Now, in terms of winds, there's going to be big problems along the coast there for the upper Texas coast. And again, remember the wind field very broad. So I think much of the Texas and southwestern portions of Louisiana, the southeastern sections of Texas, and southwestern Louisiana. I think much of that area is going to see a prolonged period of sustained hurricane-force winds, just simply because the wind field with Ike is so very broad. And again, landfall will occur tonight. Elsewhere in the tropics, I want to show you this real quick. This is Invest 91L north of Hispaniola. Very disorganized right now, but we'll keep watching it for signs of development. There's some of the computer model guidance on 91L as it moves across the western Atlantic Ocean. Again, we'll keep an eye on that. No immediate developmental signs there. Reminders for you, if you want to drop me an email, matthew.east@news14.com, in Time Warner Cable Channel 14. That's where News 14 Carolina is located, and on the web at www.news14.com. And that is it for this edition of the Tropical Weather Video. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll cut a new edition of the video on Monday morning. Have a great weekend, and God bless.